I am the Special Magistrate, Jose Smith. The Special Magistrate is empowered by the Florida statutes and the Code of the City of North Miami to hold code violation hearings. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists at your property as observed and cited by the code officer. And if the city is not able to prove the case against you, then I will dismiss the case and you may leave. These proceedings are being recorded. Therefore, all persons that are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that the testimony is clearly audible on the record. If folks speak over each other, the record will be unintelligible and will be of little use to the city. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We have interpreters that will assist you during these proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, the agent for the property owner, and any witnesses that you may have should come forward to the podium on your left. When asked, please speak clearly, directly into the microphone, and say your name out loud, your business, your mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or the agent of a property owner, and any witness that you may have on your behalf, you must have a power of attorney or an affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware and understand the violation that is being heard this evening, and that you do understand what is required to resolve the violation. Please answer out loud. The city will present its first case, and then the property owner and violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward any witnesses that you would like to testify on your behalf, and to present any evidence, including photographs, and you will have the right to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following these proceedings, or following the presentation, following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of facts on the case. If I find that a violation of the city code exists or existed at your property, then depending upon the case, I will set an abatement date, which means a date by which you must comply with the whatever is required to correct the violation. I will impose a daily fine if I find that the city prevails, and set forth the fine amount. For new non-repeat cases, my order will also include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation, and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be corrected by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table the case and will schedule another hearing in the future. If you do not agree with my findings of facts and also my ruling, then the property owner may appeal my administrative order on the case to the Circuit Court in Dade County, Miami-Dade County, Florida. An appeal must also be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of my administrative order in order to be timely on your appeal. In accordance with the Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by me, the Special Magistrate, with respect to any matter considered in these proceedings, then that person will need a verbatim record or transcript of these proceedings. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the transcript, the record, shall be the sole responsibility of the appellant or the person who appeals. And it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal their case should have their own court reporter present at the proceedings. Pursuant to city codes, if the city of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records the order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. At this point, I'm going to turn to the police officer to administer the oath of everyone who will be testifying at tonight's hearings.
If you're going to be speaking on any case, please rise and raise your right hand to be sworn in. If you're going to be speaking on any case here tonight, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You so say aloud, I do. Everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Face the flag and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Translate. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, skills, and ability? Thank you.
At this time, the code compliance manager will announce any additions, corrections, or deletions to tonight's agenda, and then we will call the first case.
Item number 22, CEGMP 2018-00072 is postponed 1 month. Item 23, CERCV 2018-00277 is complied. Item 25, CESRR 2018-00067 is complied. Item 32, CERCV 2018-00225 is complied. Item 45, CEB PR 2019-00001 is complied, and those are all the amendments and deletions to the agenda.
Very well. Anything else?
No, sir.
Madam Attorney, anything from you? Okay, let's call the first case.
The first case is item number 7, Christopher Sander. Vanessa Willis is the officer, and the case number is CESTA 2018-00010, item number 7.
City, please proceed.
Hi, good
State
evening.
your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Vanessa Willis, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer for the City of North Miami.
Good evening, Your Honor. Mickey Marrero, law firm of Burkhardt, Riddell, Fernandez, and Larkin, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, here on behalf of the owner.
Very well. City, you may proceed.
This particular property was cited, give me one moment. It was cited in November 27, 2018 for prohibited advertisement of short-term rentals. At that time, it was found on the Homes to Go website. So we asked that they please cease and desist advertising the home as a short-term rental. And as of today, the listing is still posted, so they are not in compliance. And I have a copy of the listing.
Would you please have it introduced into the record? I'd like to see it.
I'm sorry. I'm showing him the rear of the property on one page, and the date is highlighted down at the bottom, April 3rd, 2019. The next page, it has the address, 2076 Northeast 121st Street Road. Okay.
Mr. Marrero, is that the property in question?
It is, Your Honor.
The city is seeking adjudication of guilt and an abatement date.
Okay. Give me 1 second, please. Let me find the permit action report. Let me hear from the property owner.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we submit to you that, yes, this was previously advertised, and in fact, there were 2 violations that were not appealed where short-term rental activity did occur in the summer, I think, and up until September of 2018. There were 2 instances. My client's the owner of the property. They have a long-term lease, and it appears that the tenant had rented it out and had put an ad up without my client's knowledge. What occurred, and I've been in touch with the code officer a couple times, and I've spoken to Mr. Cazot, the city attorney, several times on this, because I'm just trying to figure out how to get compliance, and I'll tell you why. In November, when they got that violation, the owners advised the tenant, it was removed, and what they failed to do, which they should have done, and a lot of times violators have that, code violators have that problem, they forgot to call the officer. They took it down, thought they complied, and never thought of it since. I hadn't been retained yet. I was retained because I have a prior relationship with the owner, and they just got the notice for the hearing, which was actually originally last month. I couldn't make it, so the city graciously continued it. But I got brought in because they said, look, we're getting this violation. We took it down. Turns out, and I'm not disagreeing with the officer, what happens with these short-term rental cases, I've seen it in Miami Beach, although there's a lot of folks that are guilty there. What sometimes happens, like with real estate listings, once you put it out there, all these sites start repopulating it, and it becomes a cat and mouse game, not just for code's perspective, but for the owner trying to get it off the internet. So I'm happy to come with a compliance date where I can provide proof to the city that we sent letters to these websites wherever we find it to remove it. There has been no short-term rental activity there in the last better part of a year. The last time was September. But unfortunately, I'm not disagreeing with her. The listings do pop up. Like when one realtor puts up a house for sale, it comes up in 30 sites. And that appears to be what happened here. I spoke to Mr. Cazot about this. He understood. So I'm just thinking how to comply. It's probably more than one site because it was there before. What I'd like to submit as a possible solution is within, let's say, 30 days, I can provide the city with evidence of letters that I can send from my office to those companies that have the listings and saying, we ask you to cease and desist the listing. And submit to you there's no more short-term rental activity at the property. That's, I think, a solution. I'm just, but the activity has ceased, and they've taken it down, but sometimes it continues to pop up.
Well, as I understand the charge, the city is charging your client with advertising.
That's correct.
In violation of city code. And I believe it's section 5-30, which prohibits advertising. There's a separate section that deals with the actual short-term rental activity.
And that's not the citation today. We understand, yes.
So you have a tenant, you have a lease with a tenant, and it has remedies. I'm sure that in your case, the owner can very easily tell the tenant, if you do this again, we're going to evict you.
Correct.
So do you have a recommendation?
Special magistrate, before we move on, just to kind of rebut some of the things that he said, and you're right in reference to the code section. It is 5-30, subsection D, prohibited advertisements. It says any advertisement that promotes the occupancy or use of the residential property for the purpose of holding commercial parties, events, assemblies, gatherings, or the rental of a single-family residential property for a period of less than 3 months as prohibited by Section 5-1610 of the city's land development regulations is prohibited and shall be a violation of this chapter. He stated that the last incident may have been around September, but I just wanted, for the record, to it reflect June 12, 2018, there was a civil violation ticket issued for prohibited advertising of short-term rental. They were on booking.com. That was a ticket that was issued. And then again, June 26, 2018, where the civil violation ticket was issued for, I'm sorry, that was for short-term rental. Well, give me 1 second. Short-term rental, that took place. And then you have the one from November that I wrote. You have another one that was just written March 16, 2019 for the short-term rental advertising. So this is a cat and mouse game that we have been playing. Special Magistrate, I'm not sure that the letter writing to each of these entities is going to prohibit future occurrences of short-term rental advertising. So, you know, we need some type of action. I mean, he's the attorney, so we'll let him figure that part out.
Your Honor, and just to clarify, I'm not saying, I understand the violation was in November for advertising, and that another one was issued recently for advertising. And I'm telling you that I checked, and those advertisements are there. They're just not being generated by my client or their tenant, from what we understand. So I'm trying to find a way to, you know, I can send a threatening letter to all those websites. I'm happy to do that. I've done it for clients before. But I'm saying the last time that they have a record, my client, the owner, has a record of someone actually, and I know it's not the violation before you tonight, but someone actually renting the property short-term was in September. So I submit to you graciously that it did occur. The owner knows it occurred, and they've really tried to put a stop to it.
Do you concur with the city that the advertising was for a short-term rental as opposed to a longer term?
The advertisement, I saw it. It allowed for a short-term rental. So I'm not trying to argue with the city. I understand there's an issue. I'm just trying to find the best way to solve it. And what I'm offering is at least a way that I can, as an attorney, send a letter to those companies demanding they cease and desist. And hopefully they take them down. They've attempted it before. What happens is it pops up on other sites. If you give us, I would say 30 days, I'll do the very best with my power now that I'm involved to contact those companies and make sure that happens.
Okay. So, based on the testimony that I've heard, I've considered the advertising, I've listened to the evidence, I will find that a violation exists, and I will find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication, and give you 30 days within which to comply. In the event that there is no compliance within 30 days, then I will be setting a daily fine of $150 until the violation is abated. Yes, Madam City Attorney.
Judge, we would be asking for an elevated amount. There has been, and I'm personally aware of, complaints that were provided to our office regarding this going on for 2 years now, and this is coming from neighbors. So we are asking that, Your Honor, for at least $250 per day if it's not complied with.
Well, are you saying that there has actually been short-term rental activity at the premises as opposed to just merely advertising for short-term rentals?
Yes,
because I haven't heard any evidence to that effect.
Right, and I'm not going to bring it up because it's not what's before Your Honor today, and in regards to that matter, it's irrelevant. But I do know, and I have an email regarding a neighbor specifically that's been complaining about this matter and wants answers as to this regard. I think it's a equitable solution that the attorney is going to go ahead and send these letters and get this kind of going. But if it's not complied with, I would like a higher fine, just because this has been going on for a while.
Because I have confidence in counsel and his ability to make things happen with the property owner, I will set the fine at $250, and I will ask you to abate within 30 days. If it's not abated, then the fines will run on a daily basis.
And we will do everything in our power. I'll be in touch with Code, and I'll provide them the letters. I'll provide them, and just to be frank, if you find sites that you let me know. And I'm happy to put them, because maybe I missed one. And I don't want to be in compliance for missing something, but I'm happy to work with you and get it resolved.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, and having dealt with this issue before, if it turns out that there's actual short-term rental activity going on, then I would like the owner to be charged under that particular section of the land development regulations, in which case my fine will be significantly higher.
Thank
Judge,
you.
is your abatement day, April 24th? I know you said 30 days, but that's a little bit less. I just wanted to have it clear for the record and for council. That's the next,
The next meeting is
that would be the next abatement date that comes up.
what date is that?
April 24th.
Is that okay
Well,
with?
I hope so, but Your Honor, I would like 30 days because I'm going to send letters. It's not like they're going to take them down that day. I'm probably going to have to send a second letter. I think 30 days gives me enough time to do it. I don't need more.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have less because it's not completely under my control.
All right, I'll give you 30 days. So let's schedule it for whatever hearing follows that 30-day period.
That's May 29th.
Yes. That'll be the date.
So but the abatement date, now
Is 30
it
days.
should be, right, 30 days,
Right.
but we'll be back on calendar on the date specified, correct?
If
Yes,
there's no
correct.
compliance.
Right, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Understood.
Anything
Okay,
else?
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good evening.
The next item on the agenda is item number 21, Grupo TFJ Properties. Shanna Sanders is the officer. The case number is CELDR 2016-00001, item 21.
Please state your full name and address for the record.
Kevin Burns, 2065 Allen Manor Drive, representing the owners. And I am registered with the city.
And the owner is Grupo TFJ Properties LLC.
Correct.
City, please proceed.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a case for reports of previous compliance. This is a case for violation of land development regulations for having more vehicles parked at the property than what the city allows through the agreement that they made with the city. Long story short, this is the Fiat dealership on Biscayne Boulevard and 131st. They have a contract with the city which states that they can have 26 vehicles parked at the property, 6 of which can be used. At any given time, they've had 40, 50 vehicles, sometimes 10, 20 that are used. As of Wednesday the 27th, when I did the reinspection, there were 62 vehicles at the property, for which 21 of them were used.
How many?
There were 62 vehicles in total, 21 which were used. And again, our agreement with them states that they can only have 26, 6 which are to be used vehicles.
Counsel?
Good evening, sir. This case goes back approximately almost 2 years. We've been working diligently with the city, and I'm sure the assistant city attorney will concur that we have been diligently working with the city, and that the request tonight is actually to negate the order that you put in last month. The city attorney and myself, neither one of us were here to ask for a postponement of that item and to abate any sense of a fine. What has happened, making a long story short, is the city was going through land development regulations rewrite, and the rewrite was part of the package. The Planning Commission made all the changes that were recommended. When it got to the City Council, out of 100 recommendations, they only were able to deal with about 20, and this one got skipped over. We have been working with the City Attorney's Office and the Community Planning Department months on end, and are ready to address the Planning Commission at any time. However, issues that involving the city keep popping up and keep pushing us further away from getting back in front of the City Commission and the Planning Commission. Tentatively, the City Attorney's Office has come up with some language that they feel is appropriate, and we're going to hopefully be on the May Planning Commission. However, due to city elections coming up and then summer break for the council, the city attorney and I don't believe it's going to get before the city council until September due to the fact they have council break, and then the first meetings back they start with the budget hearings, and this item isn't the biggest pressing thing for them. However, we have been trying to work diligently with the city attorney very successfully, and again, I'll let the assistant city attorney make any comment that we have. Again, we've been working diligently with them and cooperating, and it does not just affect our property, it affects that whole particular district, Your Honor.
Are you seeking to have a land use, and I'll ask you to comment, but are you seeking to amend the development order to allow you to have more vehicles, less vehicles?
Yes, and it's district-wide for that particular district. It's a unique situation because there's very few locations within the city, within that zoning, that even allows vehicles. When we did the comprehensive plan, this item was brought up. The Planning Commission approved it and moved it forward. However, as I said, the City Council wasn't able to address all the items that were recommended, and we were left in limbo again. We brought it back forward again to correct it because the city realizes that they don't want to lose this dealership, and that having 20 cars out in front of a dealership doesn't make any sense. And that's why they've been working with us graciously, and also has been able to postpone this item. And again, we would have been in front of you last month to postpone it again with the blessings of the City Attorney's Office. Because legislation is in process, we just can't hurry that process up, and the city attorney can't, hurry it up either, sir.
I want to hear from the city attorney.
Judge, for the most part, everything is correct. It is on the May agenda, but we have no problem, as Mr. Burns has been working with Mr. Cazot regarding this matter, with tabling it until September is an appropriate date. For us to come up with something regarding this and for it to have a reading and for them to go through it. In terms of the last magistrate's decision and ruling that she made, that was before Judge Beatrice Cazot, the next time that she's on is May 1st, and I would suggest putting it before her in order to change that order. It's in your Honor's discretion, but that's the next time that she's on at 6 p.m. And if she wants to change that,
I would do that. I would have a special magistrate, because I'll continue to oversee the case.
Okay.
Since it's been around since January of 2016, and there's an abatement order with fines accruing of $500 per day. Mm-hmm. And I would urge you to continue working with the city attorney's office, perhaps in an effort to minimize the number of non-compliant automobiles, if you will. So, if you're allowed 26 and you have 62, that's a problem. And it may very well be that you'll be allowed to have 62 vehicles, but it seems like it's a very substantial deviation from the original development order. So,
if I may make a comment, the original site has plenty of parking for excess of about 70 vehicles. When that initial number was presented, it was us that created that number. The city didn't have a number set. We actually, as a concept that the Fiat Chrysler dealerships had, that it was a boutique thing, that plan didn't work out. We're the ones who set that number, and that's what the number that the city used to make up their land development regulation at the time, because at the time there was none. And so we kind of made our own mistakes addressing that number. There is no, the city attorney's office has allowed us to continue on operating the way that it is, because through to keep the dealership from leaving and just shutting down and causing the economic hardship to the dealership, but also to the residents and to the employees and so forth, the city attorney's office and the has been very gracious to allow it to operate and postpone the item and not asking us to modify anything at this time. And we will be glad to come back before the other special magistrate.
Right,
and
so
speak to her about it.
I will table it for the May 1st special magistrate hearing for her to decide what to do at that time.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Next case?
The next item is item 38, Peter Absada. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CERCV 2018-00262. Item 38.
Spanish interpreter?
Sir, do you need an interpreter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo quiero preguntarle.
City, you may proceed.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. The property of 940 Northwest 134 was cited back on December 7, 2018 to either remove, relocate, or obtain an administrative variance for the boat being stored on the property. As of the last reinspection date of March 27, the boat has not been removed, and there's no variance on file.
Any pictures you want to offer into evidence?
Yes, just a moment. In the pictures, you'll see the boat that's on the property and then also the notice to appear that was posted for the hearing.
Sir, would you please state your full name and street address for the record?
Diga su nombre completo.
William Izquierdo,
William Michel. Su dirección,
940,
940.
no west.
Spell your last name, please.
Apellido, otra vez.
Izquierdo,
Izquierdo.
Spell it.
940,
940
Northwest,
Northwest
134 Street.
134th Street.
Spell your last name, sir.
Deletreo el apellido en español.
I Z Q U I R D O.
I know how to spell it. I just wanted to be clear for the record.
ID IZ QUIRDO.
Are you the owner?
¿Es el dueño usted?
No, estoy rentado.
No, I'm renting.
De bote sí.
I'm the owner of the boat.
And you're renting from the property owner?
¿Está rentando usted el dueño de la propiedad?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you contest the violation?
¿Está en desacuerdo con esta violación?
No, porque no sabía.
No, I just didn't know.
Will you agree to remove it?
¿Está de acuerdo en quitarlo?
No. Aquí me mandaron un papel que dice que no lo puedo tener al lado ni al frente.
I have a paper in which says that I cannot have it in the front or in one side.
Madam City Attorney, could you explain what the code section calls for?
Explicar la
Well,
abogada
Judge, first we
cuál es
can't,
el código.
does he have power of attorney to be speaking on behalf of this,
Muy bien.
of the property owner?
If
Mr.
he's, if he's the tenant and he owns the boat,
Él es el dueño
I,
del bote, dice.
I believe that he would have standing, and I would let him testify.
Okay.
Could you explain the provisions of the code section allegedly violated?
Puede explicarle, esta le está diciendo que explique qué código está violando al parquear el bote ahí. Espera un segundo.
So it's on his notice of violation.
Bueno, estoy viendo la
It's
notificación de
prohibited to
violación.
park or store recreational vehicles, boats,
Que no
trailers,
se permite
campers
que se
in the
parquee
front or side
vehículos
yard
en el
abutting
frente
street without
y en el
first
costado.
receiving administrative variance approval.
menos que uno
Please
consiga
remove,
un
relocate, or
permiso,
obtain an administrative
identificar,
variance for the boat
remover o
being
reubicar.
stored at the residence by the
no puede estar
re-inspection date. If
en
additional
eso,
item is
y
needed,
tiene
please
que estar
contact the
quitado
code
para
officer.
la fecha que se hace la reinspección.
That's chapter 29, section
Es el
5,
capítulo
1405.
39 y está leyendo el capítulo.
Recreational vehicle parking requires
Se
permit.
refiere a vehículos recreacionales.
So the city takes the position legally that the vehicle is not allowed on your property
No se le
at
permite
all.
en su propiedad para nada.
Ni en la parte de atrás, porque él no está acostado.
Not even in the back. because
Nowhere.
En ningún lugar de eso, pues.
So you need to move it.
Entonces,
Otherwise,
necesita
you're going to be
quitar
fined
de otra forma.
on a daily basis. Is this is not a repeat violation, is it?
No.
Espere.
Okay. Who is the owner of the property?
¿Quién es el dueño de la propiedad?
Peter,
Peter.
Peter what?
¿Peter qué? Abesala. A-B-S-A-D-A.
And is he aware that you're storing a boat at the residence?
¿Él sabe que está usted parqueando el bote en la residencia? ¿Él lo sabe?
sí, él sabe.
He knows, yes.
You have a lease with Peter?
¿Usted tiene un contrato de alquiler con Peter?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, he can either get a variance or remove it.
Son dos cosas. Uno, que consiga un
The-
permiso
this-
o tiene que
The
quitarlo.
city has a process by which you can apply for a variance.
La ciudad tiene un proceso mediante la cual usted puede pedir un permiso.
Ya lo tengo todo.
I have everything here.
What is everything?
¿Qué es todo?
Ya me dio un poder para hacer el permiso. Ya tengo
I have a power in order to obtain the permit.
tengo todo lo que me dijo la ciudad. Nada más tengo que ir a entregarlo ahí para él. Ya tengo
I
todo.
have all the papers required by
Madam
the
City
city.
Attorney, would you
I
like
have just
to see
need
what
to
he
submit it.
has and advise me accordingly?
Does he have an application? So he does have a power of attorney. He does have a power of attorney in order to obtain the variance.
Está viendo que usted tiene un poder
And
para obtener,
the application.
para obtener ese
And it looks like
permiso.
he's applied,
Y pienso que ella dice que ya ha
so he's in the
aplicado.
process, Judge.
What is your recommendation
¿Y
then?
qué recomienda usted? Le está diciendo.
30 or 60? Yeah, Judge, I would say to table it, to reset it. I'm gonna advise of 60 days, just because it
Que
might
esto
take a little
se
bit longer on our end
reprograme.
regarding the process.
Y tal vez puede
Okay,
tomar un tiempo más largo para
based
poder-
on
But he has
the,
applied, so-
based on the evidence presented and the recommendation
y la
of the
recomendación
city, I
de la
am
ciudad,
going to
voy a
table this matter until it is
posponer esto
rescheduled again by
y
the city.
La ciudad va a poner otra vez en el horario esta cita acá.
Pero con esto puedo ya sacar mi permiso todo nomás.
So with this, can I obtain a permit with this?
That's up to the administrative staff, and if it complies with the code,
Oficinas o donde dice-
you should be okay.
Okay.
What's the reset date that Your
que
Honor
no
would
está en la
like?
dirección, ahí tiene que llevarlo.
May 29th?
Okay.
Esas tres
Thank you.
cosas tiene que llevar ahí. Y
He's
dice que,
paying
y dice
$293.
If we're tabling it, it should be
tomorrow
June the
que la-
5th.
que la ciudad le va a
June the
dar
5th would
una
be
cita
the hearing,
If
but
we're
I,
tabling it.
right, if he hasn't obtained the variance, then I would like him to come back on June 5 and explain why he hasn't been able to obtain it.
que la solicitud ellos lo llevan a una mesa, a una junta, y ellos son los que deciden si le dan el permiso o no.
Do you understand, sir?
Entiende? Yes.
Okay, good luck, have a good evening.
Buena suerte.
The next item on the agenda is item number 10, Collins Castillo. Jose Perez is the officer in the case number CESOD 2019-00001, item number 10.
Just 1 second, please. Sir, would you please state your full name and street address for the record?
Collins Castillo, 12655 Northwest 2nd Ave, North Miami, Florida, 33168.
Are you the owner of the property?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the city is alleging happened at your property?
Yes, they say should be no parking on the lawn in front of the house, and the car have been removed.
That's not what I'm showing, so I'm going to ask the city to present its case.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12655 Northwest 2nd Avenue. The resident is referring to a prior violation that was accompanied to this, but was cured when he seized parking in the front lawn. This is a separate violation for the sodding that needs to be replaced in front of the property. I have photographs to enter into evidence after I show them to the resident.
So originally there were 2 violations. Now there's 1.
Correct. One was abated.
Okay. And this one is for the swale area?
Correct. The sod in the swell area.
Sir, do you understand,
I understand
what you're
but
being cited for?
I understand, but I didn't get this one.
They were issued the same day, and they were accompanied together. They were posted on the same day, and they were mailed out on the same day as well.
And what date was that?
January 4th, 2019.
Okay, so the old violation was for parking vehicles in the front of the house, and this one is for the swale.
Correct.
Sir, do you dispute
No, not at all.
the swale violation? Do you understand?
I understand, but I didn't receive that.
Okay. How much time do you need to correct that violation?
I really can't tell you. So
30 days?
30?
30 days?
Well, you could give me I just have to work and make the money. That's it. I don't have money on this side to do it. As soon as possible. If you could give me 30 days, I'll work out with that. If I can, I'll come back.
Okay. Is that okay with the city?
The city has no objections to the 30 days. If the resident needs an extension prior to those 30 days expanding, the resident can contact me and we get scheduled for an extension.
Okay, so you heard that the city is willing to work with you to help you with the swale issue.
That's fine with me.
Okay, so based on the testimony that I've heard, the photograph, finding that there is service of process, I find that the violation exists, that, and so I find for the city, I enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of, an abatement date of 30 days. So that would be, let's do May 29th. And if there's no compliance after the compliance date, I will set a fine of $250 until the violation is abated or complied with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is item 11, Corinthia Ford. Jose Perez is the officer. The case number is CEOSV 2018-00112, item 11.
Who's going to be speaking?
Both of us.
Both of you? Would you both state your full name and street address for the record?
My name is Robert Ford. The address is 8937 Southwest 19th Street, Miramar, Florida, 33025.
And your name, ma'am?
Corinthia Mary Ford, 8937 Southwest 19th Street, Miramar, Florida, 33025.
Is this your residence, or is this
No,
you're renting it to someone?
Yes.
Yeah, we rented it out.
Okay.
Rented it out.
And Are the vehicles that are parked there your vehicles or the tenants' vehicles?
Tenants.
Okay, city, proceed. This
City-
is a repeat violation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 525 Northwest 134th Street. May we hear both of them at the same time?
Let's hear the first one, which is, what number?
Item
Nope,
number
nope.
11, CEOSV 2018-00112.
Okay, so let's hear 11 first, which is the paint issue, correct?
No.
No?
This is the oversized vehicle.
I'm sorry.
Vehicles being stored in the rear of the property, specifically semi-trucks and transport trucks.
Got it. Let's hear that one.
Okay. As stated previously, it is a repeat violation. I've spoken to the tenant and I've given several warnings, as well as previously several other officers have given warnings and open violations for the storage of the commercial trucks in the rear of the property, that being a Freightliner truck as well as a two Freightliner trucks actually, one being for cargo and the other one being for car transports. I have several photographs that I am going to admit into evidence.
Show them to the property owner. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes, it's my property.
This was taken actually on the 28th.
Okay.
It's ongoing to register to the property itself.
Because he has our address on it, but we have nothing to do with that. Whatever he is, doing with that truck, because
Well, before you testify, I want to let the
okay.
city proceed with admitting the photographs into evidence.
And I'd like to take judicial
Judicial
notice that on the photographs, you can see that the truck is registered, as in the business is registered to that address itself, which brings up a whole nother violation, being them running the business from the property itself.
And this is a single-family residential neighborhood?
Correct.
And running a business out of a single-family residential neighborhood is not permitted by the code, correct?
Correct.
I will admit the 5-6 photographs into evidence as the city's composite exhibit number 1. I'm sorry, there's 7. And you may proceed.
So as previously stated, this is a repeat violation. Those photographs were dating as far back as December 2018 and as late as March 28th, being last week Thursday, that has been occurring. So at this point, the city is obviously wishing to pursue this as a repeat offender.
What is the one second, you can't speak right now, ma'am. What is the fine schedule for a repeat offender on this type of violation?
Let me confer with counsel 1 sec.
Okay. I think I know what it is, but I want to hear it from you.
Okay. Oh, we're
Okay.
My apologies.
No problem.
Yeah, the city wants to go with the minimum fine amount for the repeat offender, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the $1,000 per day, if not abated.
And that's per section 21-20 of the code?
Yes.
Now I want to hear from the property owner.
Yes, Your Honor. We rented this property out to Mr. Moses Dale, you know what I mean, a single family home. And I know he was in the wrecking business, you know what I mean, you know, picking up cars. But I didn't know he was running a business out of the home. So when I go over there, none of these vehicles be in front of the yard and behind in the back of the yard.
Well, you're not being charged today with running a business. You're
Well,
being charged with having oversized vehicles stored in the rear of your property.
But
That's the violation.
But we wasn't aware of him having trucks or vehicles in the back of the yard.
Can I say
Yes,
one more
ma'am.
thing?
Speak into the mic, please.
Oh, sorry. Another thing is that I got that on the 30th. If they had gone there and gave him certain citations, why wasn't addressed to my address in Miramar instead of North Miami, or send us something to say that this was happening? We never know that he had those vehicles parked there, or the city had come and speak to him. It's only on Thursday or what day we got that saying that, you know, the violations. We were not aware of anything was written to us. Being as the property owner, that it should have been sent to our address instead of going to.
The answer is that the code provides for service by delivering the violation, the notice of violation, to the property. And so if you have a tenant, then the tenant should have advised you about the violation. But you did get notice for today's hearing, correct?
To my other address, not to for the North Miami area. It came to my other home address, being the property owner to that.
Right.
North Miami.
Okay, so I'll ask the city, how did the city learn that the property owner resided elsewhere?
So on the tax rolls, the property address stated for the property owner is 8937 Southwest 19th Street in Miramar 33025. The notices of violation have been mailed out to there, as well as the notices to appear, which may have gotten lost in the mail. I'm not going to go into speculation with that, but the notices were also posted on the property itself. So the responsibility of the tenant to present these to the property owner is in question here.
So you complied with the code by posting?
By posting and mailing out.
And mailing.
Correct.
And that's what the record reflects, that
Yes.
that there's proper service.
Yes.
Correct. How much time, Mr. and Mrs. Ford, how much time do you need to get your tenant to remove the offending vehicles?
Well, Your Honor, we're going to take the customary 30 days. We're going to try to have it done as soon as possible, though. Thank you.
City, do you want me to adjudicate and levy a fine? Or do you want me to provide an abatement date by which they must comply first?
Council's advising that it is a repeat offender, so we would like to levy the fine.
All right. So based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs, and the evidence presented, considering that it is a repeat violation, proper notice having been given, I find in favor of the city, and I enter an adjudication and set a fine of $1,000. If there's no compliance, if the violation remains unabated, then I will run those fines at $1,000 a day, beginning 30 days.
April 24th.
Yes. We'll do April. We'll do April 24th, By that time, you need to have those vehicles removed. If not, the fines will accrue, and then I will ratify the fine, or the next special magistrate will ratify the fine at the next ensuing special magistrate hearing, which is on May 1st.
Okay, we still need to hear the one for the recreational vehicle being CERCV 2018-00268.
That's a separate vehicle.
That's the one for a boat being stored in the rear of the property next to the semi-trucks.
So there were two vehicles.
There's 2 Freightliners and a
Okay.
boat.
And a boat.
And a boat.
And now you're telling me about a boat.
Correct. The second
Okay.
case is in reference to the boat.
Okay, so why don't you present your case? Let me see the photographs, or are they the same photographs that you showed me before?
Separate photographs.
Okay.
You want me to run my case again, or could I just present?
Just to the extent that it deals with that particular violation, which for the record ends in 00268, and it involves a boat at 525 Northwest 134th Street.
Okay. City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. We're hearing the case in reference to the property located at 525 Northwest 134th Street. This is in reference to a recreational vehicle being stored in the rear of the property. To be specific, a white Robalo boat. The violation was opened on January 4th, 2019. Proper service was done, and I have the following photographs to present to the residents and then it's evidence.
Mr. and Mrs. Ford, is that a photograph of a boat stored on your property at 525 Northwest 134th Street?
We have never seen that. We don't know if it is done when we're not, because we don't come to the property very often, but we were not aware of the boat or the vehicle being stored in the back of the yard.
I understand, but is it your property?
Yes, it
Okay.
is our property.
Okay. Now, this is not a repeat violation, is it?
For the boat, 1 second. No, it would not be a repeat violation for that one.
Okay. So what I'm going to do on this case is I'm going to give them the same 30 days as in the prior case. I'm not going to assess a fine at this point. However, if there is no compliance by the compliance date of April 24th, is that what I said before?
Yes.
Yes.
If there's no compliance by April 24th and the boat is not removed, then I'm going to assess a daily fine of $250. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one question, just
Sure.
to be clear?
Sure.
That $1,000, we got to pay that by April 24th or until, or what? I don't understand that $1,000.
Well, that's going to be up to the city to determine how and when the fine is paid. But I would encourage you to remove it or have your tenant remove everything, and then come back when the date of the hearing and tell us what happened, and then we'll see what happens with the fine.
So we'll be getting a notice to come back, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
But I did find in favor of the city. I adjudicated the first case in favor of the city, and I assessed a fine of $1,000 because it is a repeat offender.
Okay.
It could have been $5,000, and I set the fine at $1,000 based on the recommendation of the city.
But I would like in future all correspondence, anything be sent to my address at 8937.
It does.
Okay, because we didn't get the others. But
It does.
we agree.
You need to have a serious conversation with your tenant, and if your tenant does not comply, then I would suggest that you take legal action against the tenant.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The next case is item 48, Timothy Randolph. Jose Perez is the officer. The case number is CEG MP 2018-00449, item 48.
Sir, would you please state your full name and street address for the record?
Timothy Randolph, 505 Opelika Boulevard.
Is that your residence?
Yes.
You own it?
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of the violation?
I would like to know the violation.
So then let's have the city present its case.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 505 Opelika Boulevard. This is in reference to general maintenance of the property. To be specific, the property exterior should be painted and in good repair. This also includes the awnings on the south side of the property. I have photographs to show the resident.
Please. Is that your property, sir, depicted on those photographs?
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of the violation now?
Yes, he just want me to paint some trim on the house.
How much time do you need?
I take the 30 days.
Let me first introduce the 3 photographs depicting the house and the violations. Is 30 days okay with the city?
No objections.
Okay, so based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs presented depicting that the cited condition still exists and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city. Enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 30 days, which would take it to April 24th?
24th.
April 24th is the compliance date, and in the event that there is no non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I just paint that and take some pictures of it and come present it before that date?
The officer would have to go out and take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you would schedule with me. I would go by and I would close it out as soon as it's painted.
Okay.
I could give you my business card now.
All right.
So you don't have to come back. If the code officer is satisfied with the paint job, he will dismiss the case.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Next case.
The next case is item 43, Rodney Steele. Jose Perez is the officer. The case number is CEFAW 2019-00007, item 43.
Please state your full name and address.
Rodney Steele, 525 Northwest 132nd Street.
Are you the owner of the property?
Yes.
Do you understand the nature of the violation?
Yes.
Something about a fence, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll hear from the city first, and then I'll give you an opportunity to rebut.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 525 Northwest 132nd Street. This is in reference to the maintenance of fence. To be specific, the fence that is in disrepair in the rear of the property. As of my final reinspection date on March 27, 2019 at 12:23 p.m., the fence was not in compliance. Previously, I spoke with the property owner, and he advised that he went ahead and removed the fence, and he would like to submit that into evidence.
Do you have a copy of the photograph that you took?
I do have my
depicting the
photograph.
violation?
Yes, I do.
Let's first put that into evidence. Would you show it to the property owner?
Not a problem.
Is that the property in question?
That's what I see when I got here.
Okay, so you say that you have corrected the violation?
I own the property. However, my daughter's mother lived there. and I'm in Texas. She said she never got no notice. And I came, when it was 3 days ago, she called me. Said, oh, there's something showed up here to go to court. I said, read it to me, let me see what it is. She said, well, it's about the fence. So beforehand, I sent her the money to fix the fence. I come and saw 3 new posts in all the old wood. So when I saw that, I removed the fence. I talked to the officer this morning to see if he can come out and do a re-inspection for me to move the fence. However, I went to the building department. They told me I have to remove the fence first and make sure the code enforcement officer dismissed the case before they would issue me a permit to replace the fence. So this is one of the reasons why I'm here. I just got here, and that's what I see. I have no complaints about that, but I thought the fence was already fixed.
Well, first of all, does the removal of the fence require a building permit?
No, for the removal of the fence, there is no permit, although the property owner wants to put up a new fence. So that's why he's required a permit, and that's why this case needs to be closed out in the system before he would get that permit from what he's explaining.
All right, so do you need to go out and inspect the property to ensure that the fence has been removed?
He has photographs that he'd like to submit into evidence.
Okay, I'd like to see the photo. First of all, let me admit the city's photograph dated March 27, 2019. There are 2 photographs. I'll admit him. And now I'll hear from the property owner.
Yes.
You have a photograph you would like me to see?
I have the receipt that I dumped the material, and I have the ticket that I just got here 2 days ago, and here's all the photos. Just keep scrolling.
Just take a look at it and see if, in fact, the offending fence has been removed.
Yes, the last ones. Okay, these are all the material. This is from the house.
Let me have the property address again.
525 Northwest 132nd Street.
Got it. Is the city's code compliance officer satisfied with the removal as depicted in the property owner's photograph?
Yes.
What is your recommendation?
Given the evidence that the fence was taken down, we wish to dismiss the case.
All right, case dismissed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any way I can, when I go to the building department in the morning, will they be able to have this information?
I don't know that they'll have it in the morning.
Okay.
But
I'll make sure to close out the case today so that it'll be clear for him in the morning, considering that he's out of town. Well,
Okay.
he's from out of town.
Yeah, I'm sure that the code compliance officer will be more than happy to help you and facilitate the your permit to put up a new fence.
Okay. I very much appreciate everything. And
Thank you.
also there's some other stuff that I see there that I'm going to take care of also while I'm here. So
Good.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time.
Good. Appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good night.
The next item is 33, Max R. Joseph. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. Case number CEROS 2018-00002. Item 33.
Sir, please state your full name and your relationship to the property.
Max R. Joseph, one of the trustee of the trust. And the address, my address is 2331 Northwest 186th Avenue, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33029.
You don't reside on the property?
No, it's a commercial property.
Okay. Do you understand the nature of the violation?
Yeah, Your Honor. It is a traffic citation accident. That's when the building was hit by a driver. And like I said last time, we were waiting on our own insurance for the building to clear the payment. They just did, but the amount of money for the repair, it's more than what they sent to us. so willing to order the windows for the for that unit, but we're probably gonna need another 60 days since the actual insurance for the driver still have their case pending for a payment.
Yeah.
So we don't even have a payment from the pretty much the person that the insurance of the person that hit the building. So that's portion of that money we get it from our own insurance. It's not enough, but we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the ordering of the window.
Well,
so we probably need 60
I'm going to hear from the city, but I'm not going to hold up the abatement of the violation until insurance coverage is exhausted. That is not a defense. So, especially since it's a commercial property, it's been basically in that condition since August of last year. And so let me hear from the city, and I want to hear your recommendation.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was cited August 31st, 2018 to repair the window of the business that's boarded up. The previous magistrate did give the trustee some time to get the insurance settled. However, per the city ordinance, whenever a business has a damaged or broken window, the ordinance states that they have to remove the plywood within 10 days, and then there's another portion of the ordinance that says they have 30 days to fully have it repaired. So we're out of that time frame.
How much did the prior how many days did the prior magistrate give the property owner to remove the plywood? And when did that deadline occur?
It was last heard on February 6th, 2019 by Special Magistrate Cazot.
And how much time did she give him to come into compliance?
She gave him until today's hearing to come into compliance.
How much more time do you need, sir?
We're gonna be placing the order on Monday. We probably need another 60 days. Since
what's going to happen on Monday?
On Monday we'll be placing order for the windows. That's
Okay.
been for the manufacturing of the whole panel. It's not only one piece of window; it's the whole panel. We move and we place it by impact window. So it might take a while for them to manufacture. We said 30 days for them, and we need probably another 30 days to make sure they manufacture and install. So
All
60
right.
days would be a good time frame for that.
What do you say to that?
30. Judge, he's already outside. I'm sorry. He's already outside of that time period. It's been over a year. Like Your Honor said originally, we can't wait until he gets paid from all the different venues. We don't do that with anyone else. So if Your Honor is going to give him more time, it's 30 days is really the maximum. And that
All
has
right.
to be the last.
Yeah, I want it to be clear that we have nothing to do with lawsuits, insurance claims. The city needs to have properties comply with the code. And you're already past the deadline given by the prior magistrate. So I agree with the city attorney, and I will give you 30 days to comply. If for some reason, an act of God, or God forbid a hurricane or something happens where they can't produce the window, we can deal with that later. But I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna find in favor of the city based on the testimony of the code compliance officer. I think that we're beyond the point where it's becoming unreasonable to give you more than 30 days. So,
Yeah, no.
yes, sir.
The previous magistrate didn't give me until 60 days. She gave me until 60 days to make sure the insurance company responds and do something, and that's what I have this today. She didn't give me 60 days to comply. She gave me 60 days to make sure I work through with the insurance companies to issue payment.
I
because
heard that she said until today's hearing. Is that
that's
not correct?
That's not what I heard when I was here last time. She gave me time because the understanding is, if I spend my own money, they will not proceed with the process because they were still sending people out to evaluate the condition of the building, the condition of the unit.
That hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, that's why she gave me that time to pretty much for them to do that back and forth. Now they done, they send me a check. So now I have the check, I'm going to be ordering the window. I want to be clear that she didn't give me that to comply. The 60 day wasn't to comply. The
Does
60
the
day was
record
to
reflect?
do the paperwork.
Does the record reflect how much time he was given?
Do you have anything? Violation remains.
I'll tell you what I'm
I
going to
don't
do.
have any notes from the last.
I will table the matter and have Special Magistrate Cazot hear it. When is she scheduled to hear cases? I think I do.
I think her next one is May 1st.
May 1st, correct. So, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to give you a compliance date.
April 24th, Judge.
April 24th. And then if you do not comply by April 24th, I will set a fine of $500 per day in the event of noncompliance, and I'd like the case to come back to Special Magistrate Cazot on May the 1st for her to make a final determination, since she heard it originally and she probably remembers what she did. But April, did you say April 24th?
Yes.
That would not
April 24th. And then if you want a further extension, then you're going to have to get it from Special Magistrate Cazot.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 28, Leonardo Nansen. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CERCV 2018-00253, item 28.
Please state your full name and street address for the record.
Diga su nombre. Leonardo Boranzo. Nanson. ¿Su dirección cuál es? 485 Northwest. 122nd Street. He is the owner of the house. He is sick in his throat. He cannot speak that much.
And what is his name?
¿Cuál es su nombre? Leonardo.
Okay, so you both own the property, or you own the property, ma'am?
¿Ambos son dueños o usted nada más? Myself.
Okay, myself meaning
Leonardo.
him. Okay.
Usted.
Do you understand why you're here today?
¿Entiende por qué razón está aquí? Yes.
Do you contest a violation?
¿Está en desacuerdo con esta violación? ¿Está en desacuerdo con esta violación?
No, estamos de acuerdo.
We agree.
Okay. Special Code Officer,
Good
Karen Jean Louise.
Good evening. Karen Jean Lewis, City of North Miami Co-Compliance Officer. This property was cited in reference to 2 boats that were being stored on a property without a variance. The last time we were here, the previous magistrate allowed them time to apply for the variance and see if by this hearing it could have been obtained. However, they submitted the application, made the payment. It's still under review. I did speak to Lorna Pierre Lewis, the clerk from zoning, and she said it may take another 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm asking to give them 30 more days to see if they can get the variance approved.
Are you asking for an adjudication?
No, just more time.
Okay. In view of the fact that the property owner has conceded that there is a violation and that they're in the process of going through the variance proceedings, and the city code officer is agreeable to a 30-day extension, I will table it for 30 days.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
What day is that exactly, Judge? For the record.
We will do, let's do April 24th.
Okay.
If it's tabled, it has to be May the 1st for April 24th.
Okay, May the 1st.
The next item on the agenda is item number 37, Monique Moore. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is CEPFY 2019-00029, item 37.
Good evening, welcome. Please state your full name and address.
Monique Moore Ramos, 870 Northeast 143rd Street.
Kevin L. Ramos, 870 Northeast 143rd Street.
Are you the owners of the property?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know why you're here this evening?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Do you contest a violation?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so let me hear from the city.
John Dorville, City of North Miami Co-Compliance Office. This is in reference to 2 vehicles parked on the front lawn at their property address, which is 870 Northeast 143rd Street. I'd like to present the pictures to the resident.
Please. Is that your property?
Yes, it is, sir. All right.
Are those your vehicles?
Yes, they are, Your Honor.
Okay. The photograph will be admitted as an exhibit for the city. What is the nature of the violation?
Nature of the violation is actually parking on the front lawn. That is PFY. It is illegal to park on the front lawn of the property in the City of North Miami. They have 2 vehicles there. They also have a trailer behind it, which is another violation, but I did not cite them for that.
I see a white vehicle, small automobile, and an SUV, gray,
Grayish
in
blue.
front of it.
Yes, sir.
Are those both vehicles are parked illegally?
That's correct. That's what the city's contending, sir.
Okay. What say the owner?
Thank you, Attorney Smith. The reason why we usually come here every year, this is pretty much an annual thing. We come here to explain our situation. In 2015, the City of North Miami tore up our driveway from the swale all the way to the back of our house. Okay, I want to introduce you to these pictures, which I've probably given a couple of other magistrates. Provided to the Officer Dorville. Actually, I actually sent him a letter explaining this to him. And what happens is we try not to, understand that, you guys cite people because you guys, you want to keep the neighborhood, looking a certain way. But in this instance, I don't feel that we should have to basically not park where we used to park because the City of North Miami tore up our driveway. you know, and they never put anything to replace it. You know, no sod, no road rock, and no nothing. Okay, it's pretty much looking the way it did since 2015, since they tore it up. So every year we come here and we have to explain this to the officers, because there's a new code enforcement officer every time we come here. But, you know, this takes a lot of time from us to have to come here and explain this to everybody. And listen, nobody, you know, I mean, our house looks like one of the nicest houses in the area. We keep it very, you know, tidy. Our landscaping looks nice. But it's just, you know, every year we have to kind of explain this. And, you know, we want to get a nice driveway. We don't want to just throw anything on there because we don't feel that we should have to. And, you know, driveways are expensive. And we want to get a driveway that looks nice, not just throw something on there that is not, you know, that's not what we wanted. That's not, we didn't get anything to replace the driveway that was torn up by the city of North Miami.
What is the date of these photographs that
That's
you're showing me?
2015, 6/30/2015.
2015,
Yes.
so 4 years ago.
That's correct, sir.
And the city went out there to do some piping?
They had a faulty pipe, and they had to go all the way from the street into the swale, all the way to our backyard.
I assume the city has an easement to do that.
I'm not sure, Your Honor. The thing is, I don't know, you know, our house is old, so I don't know if our driveway was there long before this process, because, I mean, if that was the case, then I'm pretty sure if this driveway was on permit, because we bought this house in 2007, then, you know, if there was any type of, you know, defects in this piping, maybe they would have, you know, notified the owner prior, you know, the one that owned the house prior to us, before they, you know, threw a driveway on top of this faulty pipe.
Special Magistrate, if I could?
Yes, go ahead.
Just in deference to the resident, I mean, obviously, there's been some contention. As a code officer, you know, I've had some conversation with them about this particular property and what happened in the past prior to me being the code officer is something that I can't speak to. However, as a current code officer, I can say that I looked in the system on the property appraiser page, and it went back as far as 2015, and there was no driveway listed on their property. They didn't have a permit for the property to have a driveway. So obviously, you know, I'm here today to contend, you know, obviously I wanted to have this to be placed on the record. You know, I would certainly be more than amenable to give the residents some opportunity to get a proper permit and to install a driveway. They've stated themselves that it's been here since 2015 in this condition. The city's contending that parking on your front lawn is illegal, and we are enforcing it. So there has to be a resolution. My resolution to this is to give the property owner an opportunity to get the proper permitting, to go ahead and be in compliance, and to install a driveway.
Yeah. This is a violation that was cited on January 14th.
Yes, sir.
Long after the city did whatever the city did with the pipes.
Yes, sir.
Sir, do you understand that the city has a law that says that you cannot park vehicles on grass, that you need a driveway, a surface, a hard surface to park your vehicles? You
That's
understand
understood,
that?
Your Honor. I mean,
Okay.
that's understood. The
Okay.
thing is, what happens is, that's where we usually parked. Well, you know, since we bought this house, that's where we parked. But after 2015, it's like we can't park there anymore because, you know, the city decides to tear up our yard.
Yeah,
or tear
well,
up
we're
our
not
driveway.
in 2015 right now. We're in 2019.
Understood.
So you need a driveway or you need a place to keep these vehicles that is lawful, that complies with city code. I don't have the flexibility or discretion to give you some kind of a waiver or a variance to allow you to park your vehicles in a place other than what the code provides. So if you are willing to work with the city to apply for the permits and to build yourself a surface that is acceptable and that it complies with the code, I'm willing to give you time. So how much time do you need in order
Well,
to come
what I
into
think we
compliance?
could do is this: I won't park on my lawn. I'll park on the swale, and hopefully that basically, you know, resolves the issue for now temporarily. Because I have to kind of think about how are we going to do this. Because I think that, again, you know, for the city to come there and cause this much damage, this is not like you know, a couple $100. This is thousands of dollars worth of damage that actually we have to pay for. And then we have to apply for a permit on top of that. So, I mean, I have to find out if there's any type of legal recourse to this,
Yeah.
because what happens is, I don't think it's fair for us as the homeowners to basically absorb this type of, financial hardship as a result of the city coming in here and tearing up our yard. So, I mean, what I could do is I will park on the swale. It's not going to be on the front of our yard, and then we'll just have to go from there, because at the end of the day, I don't think that we have a pretty decent case at this. Now, if there's some type of law that the city of North Miami can just come in and then just tear up your yard from the front, from the swale all the way to the back of our yard, and then say, hey, you fix that, or we're going to cite you because you can't park your car there, then, listen, if our attorney or somebody gives me that recommendation, then, we'll go out and then we'll flip the bill for a driveway. But
Well, whatever happened in 2015 is not within the scope of my job as special magistrate. The city either did it legally or illegally, and you have whatever rights you have as a property owner to contest that. I'm faced with an allegation, a charge, that you're parking your vehicles improperly, that you need a driveway, or you need to move the vehicles. You may need to move them somewhere else.
That's understood, Your Honor. We could do that for now, temporarily.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, because I know that applying for a permit and getting a permit and building a driveway is going to take you some time, I'm going to give you 60 days. I'm going, since we don't have a meeting in June, correct?
We have one in June. We don't have one in July.
Okay.
Special Magistrate, before your ruling, I would just like to have an adjudication. This has been seen by, this issue has been brought up by 3 codes officers outside of myself. So at this point, I want obviously, the city's here to work with the resident. However, there was a case that was open for parking on front lawn. It was closed because they removed the vehicle before. So I just want to have an adjudication so that if at any point they are cited again, that it's noted as a repeat offender.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the code compliance officer, the photographs that I've reviewed, the evidence presented depicting the cited condition and that the condition still exists, proper notice having been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of May 29th within which to comply. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $300 until the violation is abated or complied with. So that's my ruling. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The next item is item 17, Enrique Moya. Ernst Baptiste is the officer, and the case number CERCV 2018-00238, item 17.
Sir, please state your full name and address for the record.
My name is Enrique Moya, and the address is 13105 Northeast 11th Avenue, North Miami.
Are you the
Florida.
owner of the property?
I'm the owner.
Do you know why you're here this evening?
Yes.
Do you contest the violation?
Yes.
Okay. I'll hear from the city.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for a boat that is parked in the front yard of the property. The case was heard before, but more time was allowed to the gentleman to apply for a variance. Posted the property on March 12, 2019. I took picture on March 12, 2019 at 4:41 p.m. Boat still in the front of the yard. I want to present.
You want to show the pictures to
yeah.
the property owner?
Yes.
Is that your property?
It's my property.
Do you recognize the vehicle depicted on the photograph? Is that your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, the photograph dated March 12, 2019 is admitted. Mr. Moya, would you like to address the violation?
I just already submitted for administrative variance, and I have to build. There is a fence, and I have to build. Beside to have a fence, a gate to open to get in the in my backyard with the boat. So I got both. I've submitted both permit. I got it here. If you want to see it.
Show it to the code officer.
I'm waiting for the city to approve the permits, and that's it.
Madam City Attorney, can you tell me what those documents reflect?
Yes, Judge, it's just the receipts that he paid for the permit, dated 3/21, for the administrative variance, the building upfront fee, 4/1/2019.
Does everything seem to be in order? How often how difficult is it to get a variance, and what is the process?
Judge, I don't work in that department. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I don't want.
No, I'm asking the city first, and then I'll ask you.
But he did apply.
When did he apply?
3/21/2019.
And it's for what, a fence?
No, it's.
All right. Why don't you tell me what you applied for?
I applied for
and what are you seeking?
The administrative variance, and also I applied to build a gate to remove the fence to put a gate to get in with the boat and the RV inside of my backyard.
Will that satisfy code if that's all he's doing? If he's putting up a fence and a gate, is that sufficient?
Again, remember that's a variance that he's seeking. The board is the one that's gonna decide if those are sufficient to allow him to have the variance. So I don't know if the board gonna accept his application, because he has to present his case in front of the board.
Is there a hearing before the board?
Yep.
When is it?
Sorry.
The date when the application for a variance is going to be heard by the city board.
It takes like 4 to 6 weeks to be approved.
Okay. So considering the process and the documents that you've seen, what is your recommendation? What would you like me to do?
I wanna give him 60 days with an adjudication.
Okay. What that means is that you're going to get some time to go through the process of obtaining a variance. If you obtain the variance, then everything will be fine. The case will be dismissed.
Okay.
If you do not obtain the variance, the vehicle is going to have to be removed.
Okay.
So we're going to give you 60 days within which to comply with the variance requirement. And then I'm going to set a fine if you're not in compliance. So based on all the evidence, the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the documents that I've reviewed, the photographs, I find that a violation exists, that proper notice was given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication, and set a compliance date of July 31, by which time you must come into compliance, or there will be a daily fine of $250 a day until the violation is abated. That's my ruling. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 5, Anna De La Rosa. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEWWC 2018-00025, item number 5.
Please state your full name and street address for the record.
Diga su nombre completo.
Ana La Rosa.
Ana La Rosa.
Your address?
¿Cuál es su dirección?
12735 Northwest 10 Avenida.
35 Northwest 10th Avenue.
Do you understand why you're here this evening?
¿Entiende por qué razón está aquí? Yes.
Do you Will you be contesting the violation?
¿Está en desacuerdo con esa violación? I agree.
This was previously adjudicated.
Esto
There was an
anteriormente
abatement date of
fue
January
adjudicado.
30th,
Fecha límite era enero 30.
and fines are
Y-
accruing at the
y-
daily amount of $500.
Las multas son de
Is that
$500 por
city?
día.
Is that accurate?
¿Estamos en lo correcto? A la ciudad le está preguntando.
Judge, I think you need to ratify if you're gonna decide to let it run, so it hasn't been
Yeah.
occurring yet until your honor states up.
I will. Mr. Baptiste?
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was heard before and was found guilty, and an abatement date was set for January 30th with a fine set at $500. And
Let me
Ba-
understand something, Madam City Attorney. Are those fines running, or will they run
If you
prospectively if I ratify?
Yes, and you
sí.
can decide when you want them to, you can
Usted
say
es el que
from
decide
today, or
cuándo
you can say from the January
van a
30th.
Okay, I want to
comenzar
hear
las
from the
multas.
property owner first.
Bueno, ahora quiero
But
escuchar
the
primero
the
del
fines
dueño de la
supposedly started running on
Entonces,
January
las multas
30th,
comenzaron
Right,
correct?
you would have to
supuestamente
ratify it today
enero
for it to
Okay,
actually.
got it. I want to hear from the property owner. I want to know why
dueño de la
we are
propiedad. Quiero
here
ver por qué razón
on
estamos aquí
April the 3rd,
estamos a abril
almost 3 months
tres meses
since
casi
the abatement date,
de la
and there is
fecha
still no
límite que
compliance.
dieron y todavía no ha cumplido.
Yo estuve aquí el 6 de febrero
I came here on February 6th.
con el permiso para arreglar el techo. Presenté mis pruebas.
I had the permit to fix the roof. I presented the proof for that.
So, what have you done to correct the violations other than obtain a permit?
Aparte de obtener el permiso, ¿qué es lo que ha hecho para corregir esta violación? Y arregló el techo. I fixed the roof already.
When?
¿Cuándo lo hizo? Yesterday was finished. I have here the approval stamp.
Did you call for an inspection from the code compliance officer?
¿Usted llamó al oficial para que venga a inspeccionar? I have here everything. I have the signature and everything.
Would you show it to the officer, please?
Por favor, muéstrele al oficial.
Is this the permit, or was the roof actually repaired?
Well, I guess what she's saying is that it was already signed off by building. I want to make sure that
Yo quiero asegurarme,
she's
dice el
being
juez,
accurate.
que ha sido terminado y ha sido firmado y sellado. Terminado. ¿Sí? Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, did
All
you
right.
fix, was the roof fixed?
Did you fix the roof?
El techo lo ha arreglado
Should be
entonces.
finals on the back.
Yes.
All right, let's see what
That's
those
what I'm-
documents reflect.
¿Quiere ver cómo, qué son los documentos del juez?
Yeah, it was. Does she have photographs of it or anything?
¿Tiene algunas fotos o alguna cosa ahora? No. No.
You wanna give us a sense of check?
the last time I was there was March 12th, so I am gonna go out and
La última vez que estuve fui
check,
el
and
marzo 12.
if it's
Voy a
true,
regresar
it's
otra vez
repaired, then
y
close the
voy a
case.
asegurarme de que sí ha sido hecho.
I see a lot of documents from Miami-Dade
Veo
County.
bastantes documentos del condado Miami-Dade.
I don't understand
Yo no entiendo
much of it. I
mucho de
would
esto,
need someone to
Yo
let
necesito
me
que alguien
understand
de ustedes me ayude a
if
entender
the building department has
si
signed
esto-
off on
si
the
el
final
departamento
inspection,
de código ha
in
ya
which case she
aprobado
has come
en
into
este
compliance,
caso,
but
que querría decir que
I
ella
don't
ya ha
I don't
cumplido,
know from
pero
looking at
yo
those
no sé
documents what
realmente
exactly
qué
they
son
mean.
esos documentos. Quiero que alguien me ayude a entender. Le estoy diciendo
So
a
it's
ellos.
linked in the last page.
I'm assuming this is building finals here, 'cause there's Yeah, but it doesn't say that it's final on the back of the permit.
There was something signed from yesterday, Judge,
Hay una firma de ayer, dice.
under building.
Nothing signed as of yesterday?
There was something signed from yesterday from 4/2.
And is it a final inspection? Is it a?
I don't think it was written exactly where final says.
I would suggest that we
Let's table it.
For, yeah.
Because if she's fixed the roof and we seem to have some records from the building department that there's something going on, I don't want to ratify
Yeah,
a
let's
fine.
allow it 30 days. And
So let's table it for May 1,
Vamos a ponerlo para mayo primero.
and hopefully we'll know by
Mañana
then
irá a su casa él. Y se
if
espera
all the work has been done properly.
si
And,
todo el
and
trabajo ha sido hecho
Mr. Code Officer, you'll
apropiadamente,
have an
el
opportunity to
señor
examine, make sure that everything is watertight
todo
and
está
in
hecho,
compliance with the code.
entonces se ha cumplido
correct.
con los requisitos. So in that case, the case would be closed.
Only after the code officer makes an inspection and makes a finding that the roof is in good condition.
Inspección y que el techo esté en buena condición. Después de eso, el caso se cierra. Am I going to receive something signed, which indicates that it's over?
It'll be up to the code officer
Ahí está.
to give you
Depende del
either a
proceso,
dismissal
como
or
se dice.
bring it back to the board, to the special magistrate.
Bueno, el oficial se lo va a indicar todo. Mañana, bien. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is number 18, Fred Toussaint. John Dorville is the officer, and the case number is CENBR 2019-00017, item number 18.
Please come on up and tell us your full name and address for the record.
Fredlin Toussaint, 830 Northeast 141 Street, North Miami, Florida 32161.
Are you the property owner?
My mom live here, but I don't live there.
It's your mother's property?
Yeah,
And what is her name?
Bertha Toussaint.
What say you?
Are you Fred Toussaint? Are you on the property?
I'm Fredlin, yeah.
Fred Lee, yep, she's a property owner. That's the-
Okay,
she's
she's
listed.
Oh,
mother's
I thought you said your mother owned the property.
Yeah,
You own it too?
yes.
Okay. So, do you know why you're here?
No, I have no clue.
Okay, we'll let the city tell us why you're here.
Good evening, Code Officer John Dorval, the City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference to the property listed once again as 830 Northeast 141st Street, and they were cited for not painting the house numbers. The house is a very floral yellow. However, the house numbers are also yellow, so it's obviously a violation because it can't be visible from the right of way. I did speak to someone at the property. They said they were going to paint it. I don't know if they have, but I'd like to enter the photos so I can show the resident.
Please.
Absolutely.
Parce que moi, je travaille ici, moi-même avec frère qui va faire travail dans la caille là. C'est le numéro, on est de... Ok, then, ma fait ça. Ok.
Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you understand
Yeah.
what the officer is trying to explain about the number
Yes.
on your house, that it needs to be readable from the street? Did I hear you say that you're in the process of painting it over?
Yes, sir.
How much time do you need?
Probably 90 days.
To paint the numbers?
No, probably next week. Give us 30 days.
I'd like you to do it sooner.
Okay, then.
This is not a big deal.
Okay, yeah, I
It's
will
just,
get it done.
You just need to do it to the satisfaction of the code
Okay, I
officer.
will.
What is your recommendation?
Can we give them 30 days just to make sure that it's done, and then if they do it beforehand, we'll close it out?
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to table it for 30 days. It's April 24th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be May 1st, sir.
Yeah, the next
If we're tabling it.
special magistrate meeting is May 1st. We will table it until May 1st. Hopefully, you'll do it much sooner. If not, you're going to have to come back.
Yeah, I will get it done.
Okay. Thank you.
The next two cases is item 26 and 27 for Joseph Durius. Wayne Clark is the officer. The first case I'm gonna call is gonna be CEGMP 2019-00004, which is item 26.
Take your time, sir. No rush.
Yeah, can we get a mic to him?
If he would like, he can sit on the front row, and then the lady can speak.
I'm assuming.
Sir, you don't have to stand there. If you would like to sit down, that would be okay too. Anybody? Do we have a microphone that we can? Your name and address?
No. Joseph Devays.
Street address?
One 1540 Northwest 128th Street.
Is that your home?
Yes.
Do you know why you're here this evening?
Yes.
Do you contest the violation alleged by the city?
I know it.
How much time do you need to fix it?
Interpreter speaking. The gentleman's statement was 30 days. The wife has stated to please grant us 60 days because the cars are my brother's. He is currently in Haiti. He has to come back in order for us to remove the vehicles.
That's not the case that we're hearing right now. That we're hearing the first case, which has to do with painting window awnings and a chimney. Yeah. While he's yes. Let me just make sure he understands what I said.
No, we have not yet finished. He has painted the exterior. He has not yet finished the top portion. They passed by the other day and told him that he has to finish it and he has to get it done.
All right. Let me hear from Officer Clark.
Well, I was at Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance. We can make it short under the circumstances we see here, and he has made an effort. I just recommend to give him another 30 days to take care of it.
You want me to
for both cases?
You want me to table both cases for 30 days?
Yeah.
So ordered.
All right.
May 1?
May 1, he has to have, the vehicles either repaired or removed from the property, and he has to finish completing the window awnings and the chimney on top. And that's it.
Okay.
You want to be heard?
Yeah, well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He said he's gonna get it all taken care of. That's why we're giving it.
She asked for 60 on the car issue.
Who did?
The wife.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we're talking.
However you want
Okay.
to do it with the.
Let's deal with the first case, which is the painting.
The painting. Yes.
We'll give him 30 days.
Yeah,
and
that's plenty for it because he only has like 3 or 4 awnings to paint and just a little piece of chimney.
All
on
right,
top
so
of it.
we'll do April 24th on the paint. What do you
Okay.
want to do about the vehicles?
Can you have him? How long is he? When is he? You expecting him to return anytime soon from Haiti? That's the question. A good question.
I spoke to my brother. I called him. He said he was coming in between the 25th of April.
Okay.
Is the issue one involving a car that doesn't work?
Yeah, it has flats, parts missing or whatever. Can he send them the keys to at least get the car off the property? No.
No, the only way would be if we had someone who can go pick up the key.
Well, they who has the keys?
My brother, he has the keys in his possession.
What do you want to do?
Let's just table the second one to June 5th so it gives him time to come back and get that fixed.
All right, done. June 5th to take care of the car.
And May 1st for the painting, which is 30 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I never talked to him, so this is my first time seeing it.
Yeah, just make sure before they leave, since they're here, make
Mhm.
sure that they understand what needs to be done, what just happened.
Okay, y'all. We'll both follow him out.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 30, Marie Blanc. Ernest Baptiste is the officer, and the case number is CENUS 2019-00014, item number 30.
Anybody here on that case? Please step right up. Ma'am, please state your full name and address for the record.
Marie-Josée Blanc, 975 Northeast 125th Street.
Are you the property owner?
Yes.
Do you understand why you're here this evening?
Yeah, you told me.
Do you agree with that there's a violation on your property?
I don't know what violation. I don't know what violation is.
I'll let the city explain it.
Ernst
Mr.
Baptiste City,
Baptiste?
Ernst Baptiste City, North Miami Code Enforcement Officer case that was open for the dumpster enclosure that is damaged at the restaurant. Violation was opened back in January 8, 2019. Posted the property recently on March 13, 2019. Took picture of the property. I have picture that I want to submit. Spoke to the owner. She knows about the violation, and I'll present.
Show her the pictures. Ma'am, do you recognize the pictures that Mr. Baptiste is showing you?
Yes. Mais c'est pas moi qui bloqué, c'est mon machine qui a bouché qui vient point qui frappé, c'est pas moi-même.
You're going to have to speak into the mic and answer my question. Is that your property? Do you
Yes,
recognize what's
yes,
on
my
there?
property, yes.
Do you see now what the violation is for?
Yeah, but it's
No, wait, I just need a yes or no answer. Okay, 3 photographs on one page, April 3, 2019. That was today. You went out there today.
Yes.
And the issue is that that the dumpster is not covered?
The dumpster enclosure is damaged.
Okay. How much time do you need to fix the problem, ma'am?
60 days.
How long?
60 days.
60 days?
Yeah. Because I'm going to refer.
I want to give her 60 days with an adjudication, though.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs reviewed, the evidence presented, noting that the property owner asked for 60 days, finding that the violation still exists and that proper notice was given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication, and set a compliance date of 60 days, May 29th. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated. So you need to correct that within 60 days. Thank you.
Welcome.
The next item is item 31, Marie Semper. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is CEWWC 2018-00018, item number 31.
Please state your name and address.
Marie Semper, 1585 Northeast 124th Street, North Miami.
You're the owner of the property?
Yes.
Do you know why you're here this evening?
Yes.
Do you contest the violation?
I complied already.
You complied?
Yes.
Let me hear from the city then.
John Dover City, North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference to, I cited the resident for the blue top on her property. She showed me a picture earlier today with the blue top removed. So the city moves to close this case.
Case closed.
Thank you
ma'am.
very much. Have a
good
great evening, everyone.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 44, Rosalvina Zuarte. Jose Perez is the officer. Case number CERCV 2018-00261, item 44.
Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Rosalvina Zarate, 520 Opaloca Boulevard.
Are you the property owner?
Yes, sir.
Do you know why you're here this evening?
Yes, sir.
Do you contest a violation?
Yes, sir.
You do. Let me hear from the city.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at
520?
Yes, sorry. 520 Opalaca Boulevard. This is in reference to a recreational vehicle. To be specific, a recreational vehicle that's being stored on the south side of the property, the east side of the property being an RV. This property was cited back in December 19, 2018. As of March 27, 2019, the RV remained on the property, and as previously stated on the ordinance, you're not allowed to have it unless you have an administrative variance, which at this point I believe they're just calling it variance. I have photographs to present to the resident.
Please, go ahead. Ma'am, is this your property?
Yes, sir.
Does it show an RV behind the brown fence?
Yes.
And is that your RV?
Yes.
The photograph will be admitted. Let me hear from you. Are you in the process of applying for a variance?
I was planning to sell it, but we're going to keep it, so I'm planning to take out the permits.
You mean you were going to sell the RV,
No, we're going to apply for the permits.
but you're going to
whatever
keep it and apply for a variance.
Yes.
You understand that you're not allowed to have an RV at your home unless you have a variance.
Right.
And is it your intention to seek a variance?
Yes.
How much time do you need to do that?
60 days?
Okay, I'll give you 60 days, based on the testimony of the city's code compliance officer and the photographs reviewed, the evidence presented, noting that the property owner has stated that she will be seeking a variance for the RV. I find that the violations do exist, proper notice has been given. I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 60 days. Would that be, what is it?
May 29th.
We'll do May 29th. And if there is no compliance by May 29th, a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated. I want to caution you that if you don't get a variance, you're going to have to remove the RV or you're going to be incurring daily fines. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a quick question.
Yes.
My name is Ramon Perez, 520 Opaloca Boulevard, St. Iris.
Yes.
If we decide to put a boat on the yard, because sometimes we move it, sometimes we park, can we apply the same time for that permit, or we have to wait to bring the boat and then apply again? How that work?
I can't explain that because I don't understand the procedure myself. So you either have to ask the code officer or go to the zoning department and have somebody there explain it to you.
I'll talk to them on
You-
the side.
You'll
Yeah.
explain it?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 1 through 3. 580 North Miami LLC. John Dorville is the officer on all 3 cases. The first case I'm going to call is MHVIO 2018-01335.
That's items 1, 2, 3.
Correct.
580 Northeast 127th Street. Sir, please state your full name for the record.
Simon Liu, 580 Northeast 127th Street.
Spell your last name.
Liu, L-U-E.
What is your relationship to the property?
Property manager.
And the property owner is 580 North Miami LLC?
That's correct.
I'm showing the managers of the LLC as David Halabu and Samuel Soriano.
They are the owners.
They're the owners of the property?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you understand why you're here on this particular matter this evening?
No.
Wait, so who, Judge, I missed that. Who is he then?
You are the property manager?
That's correct.
Okay. You're not the manager for the LLC that owns the property, though?
I don't understand your question.
Okay. The owner of the property is 580 North Miami Avenue, LLC.
North Miami LLC, that's correct.
I'm sorry, North Miami LLC.
That's correct, sir.
According to Sunbiz, Florida Secretary of State's office, the managers of that corporation are David Halabu and Samuel Soriano.
They are the property owners.
Okay. And you manage the property for them?
That's correct.
Okay.
There is a management agreement in place, and I represent the
Okay.
management.
I understand. Okay, I'm clear. City, will you proceed?
John Dorville, City North Miami Code Compliance Office. These cases actually haven't been previously adjudicated. I have been working with the property manager in reference to closing some of these issues. These are remaining issues on the property.
What kind of property is this?
This is a commercial property. This is a residential commercial property. I mean, I'm
rental?
sorry. This is a rental property. Yes, it's an apartment. They have active tenants. It's been previously, all 3 cases have been previously adjudicated. MHVIO 2018-01335, referencing that actual is about screening on the property.
That's Unit 29.
That is correct.
Okay.
I spoke with the tenant of that particular unit, and all the screens have not been placed in that property. Hence, I failed that particular case.
So it's more than one unit?
Well, yeah, obviously, I mean, I don't know the property, how many units are in it? Roughly 30, 35 units? Is that correct?
Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I apologize. There are 30 total units in the
30
building.
total units.
Okay. So what's with the windows in Unit 29. Why has that not been fixed?
May I ask him a question first?
Ask me and I'll...
Oh, the question is, when did he talk to the tenant?
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair question.
Roughly last week, Friday.
Okay. Have you fixed it since?
Yes, sir. I did call Mr. John Dorville earlier, left him a voicemail around 10 o'clock this morning to speak to him. I didn't get a call back till almost 5 o'clock to find out I needed to be here today. When I did call this morning, I wanted to talk to him about closing out the rest of these violations that have all been corrected. It did take us a little time, but I know Mr. John Dorville was busy, or I don't know what he was doing, but...
Well, why did you wait until today to give him a call?
This one, I found out that all the violations had been corrected.
He had until March 27th.
Mr. John
Yes.
Dorville has been to the property before within the last 2 weeks. So I
Okay.
did call him out on Monday, the 25th. I believe that was the correct date, sir? That you were out at the property and we checked out a few of these violations? The violations, other violations did fail at the time, so I told Mr. John Dorville I'd be contacting him back again.
All right, we're going to talk about the other violations in a moment.
Sure.
I'm just
apologize.
interested in first determining whether the violation is still open in existence on the window, on the screens.
The screens have been all been placed in since Mr. John Dorville has spoken to the tenant.
Okay, so how do we verify that tonight?
We can go to the property if you wish.
What is your recommendation, Mr. Dorville?
I mean, at this point, obviously, if they've installed the screens, we'll table, and if I'll
Yeah,
do my
obviously, you know, these proceedings are under oath. I take it that what you just told me is accurate.
Yes, sir.
So it's just a matter of confirming that the violation no longer exists and that you're in compliance.
That's correct.
Because you were running a daily fine of $350 on each violation, which I may or may not ratify depending upon whether the violations have been cured. So you say table it for until the next meeting?
Table it for 30 days, give
On
it the
all,
opportunity.
on all three?
Well, I don't know if I haven't spoken to him about the other two cases.
Okay,
so-
let's talk about the other two cases. Why don't you tell me what the violation is?
Sure. MHVIO 2018-01338. That is in reference to cracked glass throughout the apartment, various glasses, windows having cracked glass in them. They have repaired majority of them. I didn't make my final inspection on the 15th. There was one existing window that had a crack in it.
And what do you say to that?
The one he's last referring to, I don't think has been fixed yet, but the other two that had the boards over the windows have been fixed.
Want to table it and see where they're at, or you want to
Well, he said
adjudicate?
it's been adjudicated, so you have to ratify the fines because he hasn't done it it hasn't been done, and he's stating here on the record.
Do
that
you
he
have a
completed.
photograph that
Yes, I do.
will show me what the nature of the violation is?
Absolutely.
Yes. Please let me see it.
Show it to the-
show it to him first.
Judge, the thing is that he's already been found in violation. He just
Got it.
admitted in open court that
Yes.
that he hasn't fixed the issue, so
I
the
get it.
fines, you know, should be going.
Okay, so where are the cracks? Broken, cracked glass for the windows.
Right.
Oh, there's a little something down here at the bottom?
There's a crack in that glass, and it's frayed, so.
I get it. Okay. And that's for that one unit?
Well, that's actually for the main. I wrote a citation for the entire building because there were several at the time of my initial inspection. This is my final inspection on March the 15th, and there was one remaining, so I did not close out that case.
Okay, so about how many? How many windows?
Windows in total?
Yeah.
There was between 6 to 8, I believe.
And as of your last inspection, they still showed some cracks?
No, that was the only one that was remaining of my last inspection.
This one?
Yes.
And the other ones were fixed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is your recommendation that I ratify the fines imposed by the prior magistrate?
Yes, sir.
Is that what the city is seeking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on the testimony of the city's code enforcement officer, the photograph that I have just seen, the evidence presented noting that there has been a prior adjudication and an abatement date of March 27th as to this particular violation, I find in favor of the city, and I hereby ratify the fines accrued to date from March 27th until compliance in the amount of $250 per day, assess costs, and authorize the filing of a lien.
Judge, it was $350, the fine.
I'm sorry, you're right, $350, correct. That's the second violation. The third violation, can we hear that now?
Yes, sir. MHVIO 2018-0134. That is for the crack in the concrete steps. As of my photo taken March 15th, once again, they were in the process of having this particular issue addressed, but was not complete.
May I see a photograph?
Yes, sir.
Concrete steps. Is that your property?
Yes, sir.
Property you manage?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that condition still?
No, that issue has been resolved.
This issue has been resolved?
Yes.
How so?
The crack was removed and new concrete was put back in
When was it resolved?
within the last week.
So we'll do the same ruling as we did with the first one. The code officer will do another inspection to determine whether there is compliance. If there's not compliance, I want the case back before a special magistrate for ratification of the fines.
May 1st.
May 1st. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Anything further?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you. Next case. The reinterpreters can go home, have a nice meal, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Good job.
The next item on the agenda is item number 4, Ahmed Alfiki. Ernest Baptiste is the officer, case number CEJNK 2018-00222, item number 4.
Anybody here on that?
Nope.
No appearance for the owner? May I hear from the city?
Ernest Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for junk on the property. I took picture on March 12th depicting a pile of old tire, car body parts in the rear alleyway of the building. Posted the property on March 12, 2019. Violation was open.
November 25?
Yes. And I'm submitting the picture.
Please, let me see it. It's a picture of the property in question?
It was previously adjudicated, so if the violation is still there, Judge, you just have to let
Yeah.
the fines run.
Mm-hmm. Looking at a picture depicting some old tires and junk, to put it plainly, at the property in question. Admitted into evidence. Anything else? Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photograph that I've just received, and the evidence presented that the property is still out of compliance since March 27th, I find in favor of the city and ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $200 per day, assess costs in favor of the city,
Oh, I thought you called.
and authorize the filing of a lien against the property. Anybody else? No more cases?
The next item is item
We
number
got more?
6.
Oh, Good.
We have about 21
And
more
here I
cases.
thought that we were going to go home early.
No, we have like 21
No.
more.
Okay. We'll
Next-
move them right along.
Next item is item 6, Andre Knowles. Ernest Baptiste is the officer, case number CERCV 2018-00149, item 6.
Ernest Baptiste, City of Miami, Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened again for RV park at the property. Case was heard before. Abatement date was set for January 30th, 2019. Posted the property on March 12, 2019. Took picture the same day. Violation still exists.
May I see the picture? Pictures dated March 12th, 2 photographs. What's the property address again?
1600 Northwest.
got it.
122.
So I see a recreational, is it a recreational vehicle?
Yes, it's a motorhome.
Trailer?
Yes.
Okay. Behind the white fence. And your last inspection was March
12.
12th?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs in evidence, and noting that the property has been out of compliance since the abatement date of 1/30, is it? January 30?
Correct.
I find in favor of the city, hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $350 per day, assess costs, and authorize the filing of a lien. Next case.
The next two items are 8 and 9. Claudette Joseph, Jose Perez is the officer on both cases. Case number CEGMP 2018-00447 and CEGMP 2018-00448.
Let's hear 00447 first.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12655 Northwest 4th Avenue. This is in reference to the general maintenance of the properties. To be specific, the exterior of the property, the awnings needs to be either pressure washed or painted. The property was posted on March 14th at 3:52 p.m. It was also sent certified mail. As of March 27th, 2019, 11:07 a.m., the property has not complied. There are photographs if you wish to see them.
Yes, please. Two photographs dated March 27th, 2019. Anything further?
For this case, no.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 30 days. In the event of noncompliance, there will be a daily fine of $300 until the violation is abated.
For the second case, and ending in 448, this is also in reference to general maintenance of properties. This is in reference specifically to the exterior of the rest of the property that needs to be painted and in good repair. The property was sent certified mail. It was also posted on March 14, 2019 at 3:52 p.m. And I have photographs for that as well.
And service was achieved by what method?
Posting as stated on 3/14th at 3:52 p.m. and was also sent certified mail.
To the address?
Correct.
Okay. I admit the photographs dated March 27th of the subject property. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and the evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist, and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $300 until the violation is abated.
The next item on the agenda is item 13, Denise Detchen. Wayne Clark is the officer, and the case number CEGMP 2018-00462, item 13.
Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance. The property was cited for general maintenance of the property. The window awnings, they were asked to pressure wash them and paint them. And the fascia board also was chipped also. I did talk to the tenant probably about 6 weeks ago, and he told me that the owner said she's not going to do anything. She can do what she want to do to her house. So that's about the size of it, and that's why it's still the same. Actually, she told that that was relayed to me through the tenant, and I have never talked to the owner of the property. I like to submit the photos for the record depicting such.
Please.
Sorry, the property had proper service of posting March 12th, 2019.
Okay, you say there was a tenant that you spoke with, or you spoke to the owner?
Never, I don't even know, no, never spoke to the owner, tenant only, and that was relayed to me. He told the owner what needed to be done, and she told him she's not gonna do anything. It's her house, she do what she wanna do.
Okay.
So, that's it.
Well, maybe we can send her a message and encourage her to do the right thing. So, based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist and that proper notice has been given, and I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set an abatement date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $1,000 until the violation is abated.
Thank you, sir.
The next item on the agenda is item 40, Ramon Gonzalez. Wayne Clark is the officer. Case number CEGMP 2018-00440, item number 40.
Wayne Clark City, North Miami Code Compliance. The property had a general maintenance violation. Same thing, window awnings, displays black mold, and they were actually asked, I think I have it here, yeah, give me a sec, somewhere here, in here. They were actually asked, remove dirt, mildew from window awnings, and it hasn't been removed.
Is it a
the case has already been adjudicated.
Residential property?
Yes, the case has already been adjudicated, but however, the property was posted on March 12th, 2019 also. I'd like to resubmit the photos for the record.
Yes, please.
What I call quick fixes, you know?
Is there someone living there?
I reckon it is because when the first time when they got the notification of the hearing, I mean, after the notice of the hearing, I guess the order to comply, when I posted it, I came back thereafter and I think, is there pictures right there? I seen the awnings were placed in a down position as if they were getting ready to.
Are these the pictures?
Those some of the pictures. I have some more pictures here. What's the date of those pictures? March?
March 12th.
Okay, that's the day that I did the posting. But there should be pictures prior to that. Here we go. For the initial first hearing. So even there in February, they looked like they were trying to make an attempt to start correcting the problem. However, it's still the same. And I have got no call from the owner, tenant, or whoever's responsible for the property to date.
And we're dealing with just the awnings.
Just the awnings.
Okay. I'm not an expert on mold, but it sure looks like it.
Yeah, that's why I was just saying, hey, they could just, easily just remove it, pressure wash it. And like I say, I consider it quick fixes, and they just ignore it. They didn't contact nothing.
All right. So based on the unrebutted testimony presented, by the city's code compliance officer, the photographs.
Plans go forward.
This is an adjudication, right?
Yes,
A ratification.
I'm going to.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, ratification at two.
Let me see.
Ratification.
So let the fines run.
All right. Based on the testimony of the city's code enforcement officer, the photographs and other evidence presented, that the property has been out of compliance since the abatement date of March 27th, I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines that have been accrued to date in the amount of $250. Assess costs in favor of the city and authorize the filing of a lien.
Thank you, sir.
The next item is item 14, EGR Investments Incorporated. John Dorville is the officer. Case number CENUS 2018-02574, item 14.
Good evening, John Dorville, the City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference to a property 14420 Northeast 6th Avenue. This is an empty lot in the city. It abuts a duplex. I believe through the last hurricane, the tree on the empty lots property fell into the property owner's, the abutting property owner's property. I've sent several notices. This is actually a ratification, I believe. This has been seen already. I will submit my pictures as of March the 15th when it was posted at 3:18 p.m. The picture depicts a large tree that is on the fence on both sides of basically the property. One side of the property, the actual property owner, the 14420 Northeast, and then the abutting property owner still lying across their property.
Is this a residential property?
The tree comes from the empty lot and it's lying on a duplex, which is occupied on their property line.
Okay.
The property owner of the duplex has made some attempts to clean up their property by cutting some of the tree, so it's not as bad as it was before, but it's still an obvious blight and nuisance on the property owner.
And service was achieved by what?
Posting the property 3/15/19 at 3:18 p.m.
Okay. I looked in Sunbiz and found that this corporation is not active. And it's showing a registered agent by the name of Evilio Garcia. Is that who you spoke with?
I haven't spoken with anyone concerning this property.
Okay.
I posted, obviously it's an empty lot. I posted the empty lot and we provided, and it was also sent certified mail to the registered, to the person on the property appraiser page, which is the corporation EGR Investment Inc.
Okay, at what address?
The address is 501 Southwest 39th Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33134.
Okay, that's not the address that I have on Sunbiz for EGR Investments Inc. The address that I have is 3028 Northwest 13th Street, Miami. Same address for the registered agent and for the mailing address. I'm going to ratify the fines, but you may need to go an extra step in order to notify whoever it is that actually owns the property. This corporation is not even active. So,
Yes, sir.
Let me first ratify the fine, and then I'll share with you the information that I have. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and other evidence presented that the property has been out of compliance since March 27th. I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $350 per day and assess costs in favor of the city. Authorize the filing of a lien.
The next two items on the
Here.
agenda are 15
Here.
and 16 for Ecoland Group.
Oh, this is This is what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, sure, you can have it. Go ahead.
Item 15 and 16 for Ecoland Group. John Dorville is the officer. The first case is CEFAW 2018-00364. Item 15.
John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. Actually, both cases are fairly similar. It's for the same issue. These lots are owned by the same company. I've sent violations. These two violations are a reference to the fencing. I'll enter the photos as evidence.
Why don't you roll the second violation into the first violation since they deal with the same thing?
Same thing, but it's literally their sister properties.
Oh, okay.
They were sitting right next to each other. 530, the first photo's for 530, the second photo's for 540. Same issue, same property owner. They have fencing and 2 empty lots. Previously, the city I have cited them for cutting the lots and had to institute a work order because there was no response from the property owner.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist, and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
Let's deal with the second one.
Okay. Second property. It would be covering.
Oh, this one has a different address, 540.
540 is the,
okay.
Right? So this one is CEFAW 2018-00365.
Yes.
That address is 540. The first one was 530.
Okay.
Okay? So it's property was posted 3/15/19 at 3:07 p.m. It's in referencing empty lot with a fence that is damaged. It is actually fairly damaged and has access, to the property. Photos have been entered in evidence. So the city's looking for an adjudication.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs that I've reviewed and the evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item 19, Frenu Simeon. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer, and the case number is CEWWC 2018-00120, item 19.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was cited to repair the roof. There's currently a blue tarp on the roof. Hold on 1 second. Huh? Yeah. That's why I was pulling this out. This case was previously adjudicated, and they had until February 27, 2019 to abate the violation.
At $350 a day?
Yes.
Okay. You have pictures?
Yes.
May I see them?
That's for Dorville.
Five photographs taken on March 13th of the property. Admitted. Thank you very much. Anything else?
No.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's, this is a ratification you're asking for, right? Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and other evidence presented that the property has been out of compliance since February 27th, 2019. I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines accrued to date running from February 27th and assess costs in favor of the city, authorize the filing of a lien against the property.
The next item on the agenda is item number 20, Jethro Dorcius. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer, and the case number CEOSV 2019-00004, item 20.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. This property was cited for an oversized vehicle. Notice to appear was posted on March 19, 2019 at 9:35 a.m. I spoke to Mr. Dorcius one morning when I observed the vehicle at the property, and I explained to him the ordinance. The type of vehicle that he had parked is not permitted unless it's actively loading or unloading. And despite being educated on the ordinance, he continues to park the vehicle in front of his house. And as of the last reinspection, the final reinspection, there's been no change.
Is this one of those vehicles that may require a variance, or?
No, it's one of those box trucks.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no variance for that?
No.
Okay. May I see the picture?
Yes. The third picture was from around the time when I observed the violation. I went to the property and the truck was still there after speaking to Mr. Dorcius.
Which picture is that? Is that the one?
December 2018? That should be the very old one. The most recent one is dated March.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 3 photographs. One dated December 26, 2018, and then 3 photographs dated, one photograph dated 3/8/19 and 2 dated 3/13. This looks like a commercial vehicle and prohibited by city code. Again, the property is at 965 Northwest 132nd Street.
That is correct.
Okay. No prior adjudications.
No.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist, and the proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication and set a compliance or abatement date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $500 until the violation is abated.
The next item on the agenda is item 24, Jose Baca. Ernest Baptiste is the officer, in the case number CEIVY 2018-00439, item 24.
Let me hear from the city.
Ernest Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for inoperable vehicle, white truck parked up front. Case was heard before. Posted the property on March 12, 2019. I took picture. The truck still in the same condition. I'm submitting the picture.
Please, let me see it. Thank you. 8 photographs. March 12th, 2019. Property address again? 1030 Northeast 141st. Previously adjudicated. Okay. you're asking me to ratify the fine?
Correct.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and other evidence reviewed showing that the property has been out of compliance since March 27th, 2019, I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines accrued to date, running at in the amount of $300 per day, and assess costs and authorize the filing of a lien.
The next item is item 29, Manuel Espinoza. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is CERCV 2019-00007. Item 29.
John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This case is in reference, once again, to 430 Northeast 131st Street. This is for a recreational vehicle that is on a trailer. I will submit the pictures into evidence.
Sir.
Thank you.
The picture I've submitted is one photo. It's a some sort of, looks like a travel trailer. Looks like, you know, for that landscapers use. Container on wheels. I have had no contact with the property owner. I have posted I posted the property on 3/15/2019 at 2:13 p.m. And it was also sent certified mail. To date, I've had no contact with the owner once again, and there has not been the RCV has not been removed.
The driveway doesn't look that great either.
It is not. No. Well, you can have gravel driveways in the city currently.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violation still exists, the proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next item is item 34, Michael Alexandre. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. The case number CEJNK 2018-00218. Item 34.
Ernest Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for drunk on property. Case was heard before. Posted the property on March 12, 2019. Took picture of item leading on the side of property, junk item. Submitting picture
May I
for
see it?
evidence.
Thank you very much. The junk is in the rear of the property, correct?
Yeah, on the side.
On the side of the property, okay. I see two garbage dumpsters, or what else is back there?
Old furniture pieces, file cabinet.
I see a screen on the side of the house. some
Yes.
Wooden boxes. Admit it. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and other evidence presented that the property has been out of compliance since March 27th, I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $150 per day, and assess costs in favor of the city, authorize the filing of a lien.
The next item is item 35, Michelle Solis. John Dorville is the officer. The case number CEPFY 2018-00733, item 35.
Court Officer John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This property has been cited for parking a vehicle on their front lawn. The property was posted 3/15/2019 at 2:56 p.m. To date, I've had no contact with the property owner. I do not have the picture in this particular file. However, I do have it on file at the office in reference to the PFY.
Is this a continuing occurrence, or how often do you see the vehicle parked in the front yard?
I mean, typically on most cases, we'll visit a property more than 3-4 times. So this prone is probably in that range. I've probably been to this property 3 to 4 times. I'm always looking to close out cases, so I've probably officially I've probably been to the property about 3 or 4 times, as stated on my on my daily log.
Okay. And the vehicle is owned by the property owner?
That's the assumption. I can't really say per se because I've never had any contact.
It's just for my education going
Absolutely.
forward. If it's a one-time event and then they no longer do it, do you cite them?
No, I mean, I'm always in deference to the resident. I'm giving them an opportunity. I'm here to educate. I'm here to provide information. And obviously, there's issues. If it's raining and people happen to be parking on their front lawn, I certainly don't cite them. But if it's a continual thing, as I drive through certain neighborhoods, I cite them based on, the rapidity of this one particular action.
Okay, that clears it up.
Yes, sir.
I don't like to hit somebody who just inadvertently happens to park the car one day and then the next day it's removed.
That's not my practice.
Okay, all right. Did you show me a picture?
I did not. I neglected to have it in the file. I do have it in the system. If you want to table it until you have pictures, or you want to...
No, I take your word.
Okay.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, and the evidence presented to me confirming that the cited violations still exist, that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next item is item 36, Minerve Michelle. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is CENBR 2019-00002, item 36.
John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance. This is a simple case of numbers being painted the same color as the property. I have posted the property several times. My posting for this hearing was 3/15/19 at 10:44 a.m. I will submit the picture.
Please.
In evidence.
What is so difficult about painting an address on your property? You would think that people would want that so that someone that's visiting can find it a lot easier.
Absolutely, emergency services.
Sure, especially them. Okay, based on the unrebutted, I admit the photograph into evidence. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented, depicting that the cited conditions still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next item is item 39, Prestige Cornerstone LLC. John Dorville is the officer. The case is CEMHS 2018-00038, item 39.
John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This is a commercial apartment building which has tenants in it, and this has actually been a long-standing case. I have several pictures, well, 2 pictures here. This is actually this has been open quite a while. I'm just looking for my initial It was originally cited on December 14th, 2018. At the time, there was, this building is actually going through a renovation, and they've gotten rid of most of the tenants. Currently, it's probably about less than 10% occupied. However, the issue from December the 14th still exists. And I'll submit the pictures. This is two pictures of, one of the first pictures is February the 12th. It is standing water in the hallway. And then my final picture will be this March the 15th of 2019, with still showing the same issue.
So we're just ratifying fines. I remember this one.
So this is also just a ratification of the fines. And this was, property was posted 3/15/19 at 4:07 p.m.
Photographs are admitted. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and other evidence presented that the property has been out of compliance since March 27th, 2019, I find in favor of the city and hereby ratify the fines accrued to date in the amount of $350 per day and assess costs against the city and authorize the filing of a lien.
The next case is item 41, Ramon Tabora. John Dorville is the officer. The case number is CENBR 2019-00004, item 41.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. John Dorville, City of North Miami Code Compliance Office. This is a case for property 1130 Northeast 144th Street. Once again, it's a simple matter of painting the numbers on the property, different color than the actual paint. I'll submit the pictures and evidence.
Admitted.
This property was posted on 3/15/19 at 9:58 a.m. I've had no contact with the property owner.
Anything else? Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited conditions still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 42, Regina Vlasic. Ernest Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CERCV 2018-00246 is item 42.
Ernest Baptiste, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was open for boat park at the property. Property was posted on March 13, 2019, at which date I took picture, and boat still in place, submitting for the record.
Please. Thank you. Picture dated March 13th, 2019, reflecting two boats.
Yes.
Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The last two violations on the agenda are for Seymour Jen Beer. Jose Perez is the officer. Is case number 46 and 47. The first case is CEFAW 2019-00004, item 46.
Violation for fencing.
Yes. 1 second. City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12625 Northwest 2nd Avenue. This is in reference to maintenance of fences, walls, and hedges. Specifically, the fence in the front of the property that needs to be painted wherever there's chipping on the fence. The violation was opened on January 4th, 2019. The property was posted on March 14, 2019 at 3:33 p.m. and it was also sent certified mail. As of March 27th, complaint has not been met, and I have photographs for the evidence.
Please, let me see that. Two photographs admitted March 27, 2019. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
The next case is CESOD 2019-00002, same owner and property.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. Today we're hearing the case in reference to the property at 12625 Northwest 2nd Avenue in reference to the landscaping, in specific the sodding in front of this property in the SWA area that has been damaged due to excessive parking. The violation was opened on January 4th, 2019. As of March 27, 2019, the violation has not been abated. The property was sent certified mail and was also posted on March 14, 2019 at 3:33 p.m. I have photographs for evidence.
What are they supposed to do? Just put grass or gravel, or how do you deal with this violation?
So, for the most part, they're required to have grass. I know in the past the city has accepted gravel, but I'm not sure if at this time they're accepting gravel. But yes, we're looking for grass.
All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the city's code compliance officer, the photographs and evidence presented depicting that the cited violations still exist, and that proper notice has been given, I find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication and set a compliance date of 30 days. In the event of non-compliance, there will be a daily fine of $250 until the violation is abated.
And those are all the items on the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.